it's Kaylin, and today I'm going to be telling you about the time that I met the one and only, pause for dramatic effect, Justin Bieber. So if you guys don't like Justin Bieber, or if you just don't want to know how I met him, then you can just X on out. But if you do like Justin Bieber, or you just want to know how I met him, then keep on watching. Alright, so just so you know, I'm going to be looking on my phone periodically because I have all of the sequence of events typed out so that I don't miss any details. So basically, just a little bit of background is that this was in 2012 and Justin was in town for the very first tour date of the Believe tour. And at the time, I was not a very big fan of Justin, but my two best friends, Autumn and Hannah, were. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of the background, and to get into the story, so the very first day when we actually found out that Justin was in town, Autumn and I were sitting in our world history class, and I don't know, she saw on Twitter or something that he was in town, and she was like, hey, like, we should go down to the arena and try to meet him. So I was like, yeah, alright. I hadn't met any celebrities at this point, so I was kind of like, okay, I'll go. Like, I didn't really care too much about it. So we found out, and then that night, me and Hannah, because Autumn just wasn't able to go that night, I forget why, me and Hannah went down to the arena. And just to give you kind of an idea of the setting is, so here's the arena, and on the back side of the arena is where all of the important people enter. It's like this big ramp. At the top of the ramp there's a security box where you have to tell the security guard who you are, like, you know, in order to get down there. So basically you have to be important. And once you get down this ramp, there's the tour buses and lots of SUVs, and just really important people go down there. So we were hanging out at the top of this ramp, Hannah and I, and we didn't know what to expect, so we just kind of hung out there while Hannah's mom ate dinner or something. And pretty soon after being there, Justin didn't come up, but if you know Justin Bieber and his crew, kind of, you know who Kenny and Scooter and Alfredo are. So at separate times they all came up. Actually, I think Kenny and Scooter came up at the same time. But they all came up and we got to meet all of them and talk to them, and they were really nice. And at this time there was maybe 25 girls, I want to say. There wasn't many really. And so we all got to meet them and take pictures with them. And I got a picture with Kenny, but it was back when I had my Android phone, so the quality, like, something happened. It happened in the process and the photo is like jacked up. I'll insert it here, but I don't know what happened with it. So then after we met those three, it was probably 9 o'clock, and we were like, okay, well, Justin's probably not going to come out tonight, just because he's been rehearsing all day, because that's why he was in town early, is obviously to rehearse, and he's probably exhausted, whatever. So we told Hannah's mom to drive around and pick us up. So she picks us up, and as we're driving out onto the freeway, Justin's bus pulls out in front of us. And we knew it was Justin's bus because this was in the, like, Justin era where purple was like his signature color. And on the bottom of the bus there was like lights that went all the way down the sides of the bus that were purple that like shone onto the ground as he drove. So we knew that it was Justin. And so we were like, okay, well, you know, let's follow him to see where he's going. So we followed them, and there was maybe 3 or 4 other cars also following him. And basically where we ended up was at this hotel, maybe 10 minutes away from my house, not far at all compared to how far the arena was. And so when they pulled up, there was very high security. They weren't letting anyone onto the hotel property unless you were Justin's bus, pretty much. I just remember, I think there was cops there, and it was just very high security. So we were like, okay, nothing's going to happen tonight because they're on such high alert because he just got here. So we'll come back tomorrow. So then the next day, day 2, me, Hannah, and Autumn all went to the hotel just because we wanted to see if we could meet him there. So we get there, and we're kind of driving around the property, and towards the back of the property we see Justin's bus. And so we're like, oh my gosh, like, this is it, we're gonna meet him. So we kind of parked close, but not too close, maybe I don't know, we parked kind of close to where the bus was, and so we could see the bus. So we get out of the car. I don't know what we were thinking was going to happen. Like, Justin was just going to hop out of the bus and be like, hey guys, thanks for stalking me, let's take some photos. I really don't know what we thought was going to happen. So we got out of the bus, and Justin's bus driver was standing outside of the bus, and he had like the hatches on the side of the bus open, and he was putting clothes in, so I'm assuming they were Justin's clothes. And so he was putting all the clothes in, and he like yelled at us, typical old man yelling. It was like, get off this property, I'll call the cops, blah blah blah, you can't be here. So we were like, rare, okay. So we left, and right as we were leaving, the bus starts to pull out. So we were like, oh my gosh, Justin must have been in the bus, because if the bus is pulling out, then like it would pull out right after we pulled away. So Justin had to have been in the bus, which means he could have seen us. And anyways, we were like, oh my gosh, like maybe he saw us. Anyways, so we drove home, and Hannah had to go to school. So we dropped Hannah off at school, which sucked for her, but Autumn and I's parents let us skip the whole day. So we dropped Hannah off at home, and then Autumn and I went to the arena. We were waiting there for maybe an hour, and it was September, and I live in Arizona, so it was wicked hot. So there's this hotel maybe 50 feet from the arena, and my mom just happened to be staying there because she just had a conference for work, and so we had a room there so we could go up there and relax and eat or whatever, and then come back down and keep waiting for him to come out. And so we were at the same place today that we were last night, that we met Scooter and Alfredo and all them. So we're waiting there, and it's super hot, and finally Justin comes rolling up the ramp, and he's on a Segway. And I remember he was wearing like dark gray sweatpants and a black t-shirt and a gold chain, and I think a black like snapback hat, and he was wearing it backwards. So he comes rolling up, and we were like dying. We were like, this is the moment we've been waiting for. And so there was maybe 75 girls there at this point. Like, there was a lot of girls. So we start running up towards the front entrance of the ramp, because that's where it looks like he's going. And so as we're running, I take out my phone or my camera, I don't remember which one, and I start videotaping, and I'm like, Justin, can you say hi, Hannah? And he's like, what's up, Hannah? And so I know, I thought that was really cool, because then since Hannah wasn't able to be there, she had something to like look back on, because I felt really bad that she didn't meet him. So I got the video, and then he came up to the top of the ramp, and he was going around touching everyone's hands, and he touched my hand, and he touched Autumn's hand, and it was so cool. And I have this picture of Autumn and I's hands like sticking out through the gate, and then Justin's face is like right here in the background, and he literally, guys, I can't even explain to you, he's like flawless. Like, I remember looking at him, and he just seems to glow. Like, he was perfectly tan, and like, he was literally perfect. So, we met him that first time, and then we ran into the convention center where my mom was, and we literally like collapsed to the ground. We were like, Mom, we met him, and we were like dying, because we were exhausted. Like, we were like, you know when you're so tired that you get like delirious? Like, that was us, because we had been up for so long, because we got up at like 6 a.m. to go and try to meet Justin at the hotel, and it was so hot out. We were just so emotionally drained, so we were like collapsing on the ground in the convention center, everyone staring at us, and we're like bawling. And then we start running like around the hotel, and we're like calling everyone we know to tell them that we just met Justin. I remember I called Hannah, and I told her like they got the video, and I was like, Hannah, you're gonna love me forever, you're gonna owe me forever. And then I like sent her the video, and yeah, so that was cool. And then we went back outside, and Justin came up several more times that day. I want to say 2 or 3 more times after that, but the first time was that he came up was the most memorable, just because that's when he touched my hand. And he touched my hand, I want to say another time or two, but I don't know, just all I can really remember vividly is the first time that he touched my hand. I did not, or neither of us got a picture with him. just because he was coming around taking pictures with a couple of people, because, you know, people were like holding their phones out through the gate, and so he would take their phone, you know, hold it up and take a picture with them. But at the time I had an Android phone, and he was just going to iPhones because they're just the easiest to use. Everyone knows you just click the button and it's easy. So I didn't get a picture with him. My little sister, she was there too, and she kind of got a picture with him. It's really funny. Her face is like smushed in between the gate like that. And it's actually a picture that was on someone else's phone that he took, and then we like found it on Instagram somehow. I literally have no idea how we found it, but if I can find that picture, I'll put it in here, and I'll circle my sister, because it's literally so funny, and she's so confused. She's not even smiling. She's like, anyways. So yeah, we didn't get a picture with Justin. Seeing him a couple of times. It was nighttime at this point. It was dark out, and my little brother, who was we were all staying at the hotel that night, and so my little brother was here at this point, and my mom was like accepting an award or something, so I was in charge of my brother. And so Caleb, we were outside, and it was me, Autumn, my sister, and my brother, and we were all waiting for Justin. Again, it was dark out at this point, like I said, and so we were just waiting, and there was tons of girls here. I want to say 100 to 150. There was lots of girls. And so Justin, once again, comes riding up on the Segway, and so everyone's, you know, trying to get him to touch his hand, whatever, and all of a sudden, the gate that, like, he comes up and touches everyone's hands opens, because, it's triggered on the inside. It's triggered by weight, and so I think him and a couple other people, I think there was a couple other people, had come up on the Segways, and that must have been enough weight to trigger the gate. So the gate opens, and so all these fans, including me, start booking it like down the ramp and trying to chase Justin. Once again, that's one of those things, I don't know what we thought would happen, but so I'm running, and I remember I have my purse, and it's like over my shoulder, and then I feel a tugging on my purse, and so I turn around. I remember my little brother is with me, and he was so cute. I remember he just looked so confused, and he's like, KK, what are we doing? As we're running down this ramp, and I was like, come on, Caleb, just run. And it was literally the cutest thing. No one ever ended up catching up with Justin. Security came and made us all go back to the top of the gate. But anyways, just that little memory I have of my brother is really funny, because like he was so little, and his big blue eyes were just looking at me like, what are we doing? And anyways, so alright guys, so that was the time that I met Justin Bieber. It was seriously such a cool experience, and Autumn and I meeting Justin like catapulted us into this whole other thing. Like, since then, we've stalked and met so many more celebrities, so I have quite a few stories that I could tell, just because I've met a lot of celebrities, and some of them are story worthy, I feel. So maybe a couple of those I could do is like Harry Styles, Cody Simpson, the Vamps. That's probably all that's like has a story long enough to like fit into a video. So if you guys want to see any of those, how I met any of those people, then just comment down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, because I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.